Hi, welcome back to another Falcon tutorial, Liquid Lino. This time we're going to cover off some granular synthesis. We're going to create a little atmosphere. It's going to have multiple layers to that atmosphere, multiple granular samples playing at the same time, add some depth to the whole sound and some movement over time. So let's get started. We're going to use the VSCO library. It's a set of free orchestral samples. Great place to start with creating atmospheres. I've got horns here. We can choose any instrument. Let's start with a tenor trombone. I'm going to grab a staccato patch. This one will do. They sound nice. F1. So when we drag this in, it's actually done F#2 for some reason. I don't think that's right. Let's change that to F1. So this sample here, this root here, needs to match the sample. So now we're at F1. And we should find that's in tune. Let's just quickly check that by dragging in a sine wave as well. Seems to be in tune. And if you want to hear the raw sample, you can click on the sample, press Control Space, and it'll play the raw sample for you. So if you've done some things like change this to granular, which we're going to do now, we could have done this by dragging in the granular here, or multi-granular. Could have dragged that down here, and then we could have gone into our sample bank and we could have dragged in the sample and dropped it here. That's another way of doing it. Here, you can just hold down the left mouse button and choose which sampling to switch to. This is really neat because you can try out different things, keeps the sample in place, and as you switch around, it'll change the oscillator that's using that sample. So I'm going to go multi-granular. It's an atmosphere. We want multi's good. Multi means you're going to get multiple voices being played on this sample with different playheads, and you'll see the playheads moving around in a second. So let's put a few voices on this. We want to spread those voices out. So this here means, so if we play it now, all the playheads are together. Let's spread them out. Now we get 3 playheads in different places. You can also do a bit of time. Does the same thing really. Put a bit of pitch variation. We don't want them all playing at the same pitch. That would be boring. I'm going to give it a few cents. Okay. And also going to slow this right down. Like this. Okay. Very nice. We're going to bring that end a bit earlier because there's not much sound down here. This is all just room echo. Okay, we've got them spread apart too far. There we go. Let's get it going forward and backward. Now they're going to bounce around indefinitely. Because it's a staccato, we get that natural rise and fall of the sound. It's not too static. Whereas if you went for a sustain here, probably quite a static sound, which you don't really want in an atmosphere. Slow it down a little bit further. Okay. Now we can randomize this a little bit as well, so that every time we play it, it sounds a little bit different. So you hear, let's crank this up a little bit. So you can hear that it's sort of like a stuttering. And that's because what it's doing to slow it down is it's just taking a little sample of where the playhead is, slowing that down, and then blending them together according to this section here. So if you go for a short size, it'll get more stuttery. Okay, because now we're getting 19.2 millisecond samples that it's taking and blending together. If you go for a longer sample, it gets smoother. Yeah. Density, if you increase this, it'll get even smoother again. Okay. And so on. You can play with all these things. Jitter, it's how much it's jittering around. Creates a bit more movement. The window is the shape of the sample. So if you imagine the shape, you've got triangles and these other shapes here, squared and Welch. Welch is quite nice. Quite nice shape to that jitter. Okay, so you just play around with these until you get something you like. And then a neat thing to do is we just add a bit of delay onto this. This new velvet delay is quite neat for atmospheres. Okay, so we'll call this layer 1. Let's call this, okay, so we've got a trombone stack layer. Let's get another layer. Let's put some woodwinds in. So here I'm going to create a new layer, click into it. Let's choose something, oboe. Let's choose a vib, vibrato, D3. Shush. Again, you can press Control Space, it'll play. Let's switch this to multi-granular. Let's do the same thing again. Let's get ourselves spread out. Okay. Again, just set yourself up with some settings, whatever you like really, it's just a sound. Have I done the thing? D3. Remember to set your tone. Okay. Let's make this one a bit grittier. Let's put a different delay on this one. Let's get a lush. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, great. We'll name this layer oboe bib. So we know what we got. Let's create some texture. We could use anything. I find these bubbles ones, they work really nice. So we're going to drag in the bubbles. Doesn't really have a root. Could leave it as it is. We could just make it slower. So we're going to go with an Arkham stretch here, and we're going to slow it right down. Just creates a little bit of texture there. Again, let's put some delay on it. Very nice. this layer up. Fools. Very good. Okay, now we're going to put some reverb over the top of all of this. Just put a bit of a biss from SparkVerb, always works well. There's that basic sound. So let's put some envelope on sounds. So let's go to the trombone stack, and we have our modulator here pre-given to us, amp envelope. So let's put a nice slow attack. Let's get this one to fade down after it plays for a couple of seconds, and a decent release. And here's our amp envelope for the oboe vib. Okay, and I could do that here as well. Select my amp envelope, make sure I'm on the right one. See, we were here before. That's the amp envelope for the trombone. This is the amp envelope for the oboe. So let's get this fading in. And releasing. Okay, and the same with these bubbles. Okay. So that's some basics. We've got our basic sounds in place. We've got some layers here. We've got 3 layers: the trombone, the oboe, and the bubbles. Let's create some more modulations to this. We could have the trombone modulate in pitch. So again, do it at the key group layer so it responds to the MIDI on off as I described in my previous video. Let's have a nice smooth random, because I want it to wander around nice and smoothly. Not very quick. I'm going to slow it right down because it's an atmosphere. You know, 0.05 hertz is once every 20 seconds it's going to do a full cycle. Start randomly, don't re-trigger. So every time I hit a key, it's not going to start from the same place now. It's just going to carry on from where it was. Let's have a look. We don't want a whole semitone, that'd be too much. 10 cents is nice. Go back to these bubbles, they sound a bit much. What can we do to blend these in a bit more? We could put a bit of a filter on them, take off the high end. And we could put a bit of modulation on that. Have the filter move around. Nice and slowly, once every 10 seconds there, 0.10 hertz. A bit too much, so let's bring this depth down until we get the... you know what I haven't done? On the Occam stretch here, Can we get it to go looping? It doesn't look like it. So actually I'm going to change this then. Let's just go for a granular. Get it looping. Let's bring the speed right down. Can balance out the sounds at the layer level. If we think maybe this oboe is a bit too loud, we can bring it down, get it blended. Up here we can compress everything together to get everything to blend nicely. Let's just put in a 3-band there. This sample also needs to be looping. Come back. Loop mode, forward, backwards, okay. Now it's all playing definitely. It's a bit drony, this. Should do more to modulate this in and out. So if we add a modulation to its gain, let's put a multi-envelope. So this is a bit like an MSEG in other synths. Allows you to choose lots of different patterns. So if we wanted a curve that sort of, don't really like that one, something like that. Slow it down. Comes and goes is a bit better, like that. How much we want it to affect that. There we go. Not the greatest sound ever, but it's a demo. I think you get the point. And you can just keep layering this up. You can keep adding more and more sounds, get it richer and richer, add effects, etc. Make it sound like your own. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see any more and whether this was too quick. It's a bit quicker than the last video. And see you soon.